Multi-level marketing schemes are basically just extra capitalist capitalism. It's just rent seekers on top of rent seekers on top of rent seekers, scalping all the way along the line. Yeah, there's fun vibes. I kind of want to watch this, but I don't know if it's too long.
For a disclaimer first and say, I actually like a lot of Patrick Bet-David's content. He's done some really compelling, good interviews. I would have even gone so far as to say that I was a fan of Patrick Bet-David a few years ago, until I learned that Patrick Bet-David made his millions running a multi-level marketing company. If you're unaware or unfamiliar, multi-level marketing companies are scams that depend on a mathematically impossible endless chain recruiting scheme in order for you to make money by rising up the ranks of said scheme. Recruit 5 people, who recruit 5 people, who recruit 5 people, and so on. Patrick Bet-David got his MLM start, as far as we know, in World Financial Group. World Financial Group is an MLM company that I've talked about probably more than any other MLM company.
Damn, bro, this guy's a hater, bro. He's hating on my boy Patty Bed D. PBD, man. I am value tamed.
Patrick Bet-David's MLM is called PHP, People Helping People, or People Helping Patrick. The interviews that you've seen with Kobe Bryant, Jordan Peterson, etc., where it's Patrick Bet-David on the big stage talking to these people, these are at PHP events, but that's not included in any of the branding. You have to be eagle-eyed and pause the video at the right moment to see in the background some logo that says PHP, or somebody in the crowd wearing a shirt that says PHP. And the people who are brainwashed into these MLM cults have such a religious level of devotion and ecstasy when they're in these events, a mob of people all thinking they're gonna be rich. Patrick Bet-David is a genius because he made his millions off of this MLM and then used the money to be able to do these interviews and create this content with high-profile people. He then took that content and released it on his own separate channel that had nothing to do with PHP, called Valuetainment or PBD Podcast, and built a personal brand off the back of the money that he was generating from the MLM.
This is insurance? This is an insurance company, yes.
Now, dude, how can you not trust a guy with a bow tie like that? That's what I'm gonna say. How can you not trust a guy that has a bow tie that's matching his whatever that is? Is that, what is he? Is that a belt?
This is insurance? This is an insurance company, yes.
Now it's the insurance company, and now he's reached escape velocity where he has millions of followers who follow him for being a personal brand, which makes people more resistant to the idea that he ever was once running one of these kinds of organizations. Do you see how actually diabolical that is? And I want to shout out my friend Coffeezilla for actually, through some miracle, being able to get Patrick Bet-David on a live stream interview. This comment sums it up pretty good in my opinion. Quote, "Is your company a multi-level marketing scheme?" And then Patrick tells his entire life story.
Do you think that you're not an MLM? You say, like, we are not an MLM. You don't think you're an MLM.
I'm going to give you your answer here in a minute, but I'm curious from your end what you think an MLM is.
He should have paused and been like, Coffeezilla, are you gay? which is a pretty solid. That's like he owns every time he does that.
When you think about,
I can make you gay.
About multi-level marketing, this is how my career got started. I think you need to know how the story of my career got started. Maybe that'll kind of put everything together. I'm in the Army, I get out.
I'd have a beer with him, but I would put my wallet in my sock first. PBD has a PhD in talking for 3 hours while not saying anything. MLM apologists will duck and skirt the question, filibuster, talk nonsense just to avoid answering the question. These people are experts at going up on stage and talking about midichlorians and high vibrations and spectrums of light that you need to tap in.
This guy's good, by the way. I like this content creator. I didn't know anything about this guy, but one, he likes Coffeezilla. Two, he's doing a Patrick Bet-David MLM video, which I have suspiciously not really seen a lot of. Because, like, I know only a little bit about him having a multi-level marketing scheme, like, originally. So for me, I'm like, I'm shocked that there aren't more people. Maybe they're just like me. They're too value-tained. They're too value-tained to, like, scratch the surface beyond the value-tainment that they're getting.
Into using your Kundalini chakras and charging up a crystal and manifesting and writing in your journal. Write this down. One scripture of nonsense after the other. I actually don't know how a grown-ass man can knowingly and willingly spew bullshit and lies and answer questions with questions and then still sleep at night and then still look in the mirror and be like, yeah, that's what's up. I, for a long time, and still to this day, will posit my theory that the people at the very tops of MLM companies, whether these are the people who have made it to the top of the compensation plan as distributors, or the people who are actually running it from a corporate level, the CEOs and founders and so on.
I have an answer. It's called making money, and like lots of it. It's the exact same principle behind the NFT schemes, the rug pulls, and of course, multi-level marketing. You know, once I got a touch of this money, this socialism shit was over. You feel me? It was over. That's why I've been consistently advocating for the same things I've been advocating for. But I was like, but I'm doing it in a fake way now. Capitalism, baby. Get your money up, not your funny up.
So on, are psychopaths. Because when you are at that level, looking down on the rest of the pyramid, and you know how it works, you know the actual structure of it, you know the mechanisms in which you make money, predicated on the vast majority of people losing their money. How do you reconcile that without feeling such an overwhelming amount of guilt that you stop doing it? In my opinion, there has to be some sort of link that is broken in your brain chemistry or whatever that makes you lack empathy, or you're so lost in the sauce and you've heard so many of these rationalizations and deflections and excuses that you yourself have started to believe it. And there's a great quote that I've included in videos before. It is hard to make a man understand something when his salary is dependent on his not understanding it. I want to show you this video. I've talked about this gentleman on my streams before, Eric Worre. No, settle down, settle down. His whole brand is GoPro, and he provides education on how to become
Like the cameras, the fuck? What?
pro in your network marketing, multi-level marketing company. Purple suit like the Joker, of course. He thinks he's Robert De Niro in the movie Casino.
You could have chosen a lot of different marketing models for your company, but you chose a network marketing model for distribution. Why did you choose that model? What do you like about it?
So why did I choose this model? Because if I have to buy the lead, this is the cheapest model of not having to buy the lead. I don't have to advertise. I'm paying $10.99. You get to make as much money as you get. I don't have to pay you W-2. Like, you know, we combined some of the comp structures from these 3-4 different companies I was a part of, and then obviously the rest is history.
Okay, one, no advertising. Well, of course you don't need to advertise because you already have the strongest form of advertising possible. You have people who are completely brainwashed into the opportunity, thinking they're gonna be rich, that the word of mouth promises that they make to people who trust them about the income opportunity. It renders advertising completely needless. Secondly, paying $10.99 goes.
One of the best parts about capitalism is that it's always innovative in making new schemes and creating new middlemen for no particular reason other than to generate profit. And multi-level marketing schemes are basically just extra capitalist capitalism, in the same way that drop shipping is extra capitalist capitalism. It's just like rent seekers on top of rent seekers on top of rent seekers, scalping all the way along the line. There's many different forms of it. There's many different forms of it, but of course, we in the United States of America, the most innovative nation of all time, have been able to figure out even sicker ways, even cooler ways of scamming other scammers.
Goes against the doctrine that you are an entrepreneur or that you're a business owner in multi-level marketing. This is what they all say. This is entrepreneurship. This is your business. And as Patrick admits here, you're paying $10.99, meaning you're paying contractors. So not only do they not own it, by you paying $10.99, you don't have a liability over those people. They're just a $10.99 contractor. They're not your responsibility. 3, make as much as you get. I don't even think that makes sense. And not paying out W-2. I mean, this is another thing. If these people were business owners, ask them for their tax returns. Look at that fucking outfit. 3 different shades of purple on this guy. If Grimace and Lex Luthor had a baby.
You're going from company to company to company. So the challenge with today's is you can't find a lot of, I know this is going to sound weird, a lot of virgin networkers.
Yeah.
They've been around the block too much. You have to ask yourself, what do you offer? Forget about the company. What are you offering? Are you great on 3-ways? Are you great on calls? Are you a guy that's accessible? Can I get a hold of you at 11 o'clock at night? Are you hard to get a hold of? Are you a big shot? Are you this guy that's like driving your Ferrari and nobody can get close to you? There's so many different things that you can offer today to have the edge.
Is it just me or did he not fucking say anything? You know what's so funny? This answer that he gave.
Okay, that's literally just, that's why I love him. Because he does, that's the Patrick Bet-David model, which is just kind of saying things in a relatively quiet but still somewhat very confident manner, that causes people to go, okay. And it's like he said nothing, not a single thing.
He contradicts yet another promise of MLMs. When he's talking about, can I get a hold of you at 11 o'clock at night? You will only hear these people talk.
What do you think about international solidarity, or do you support socialism in one state? Bro, I don't support socialism. I'm capitalist, baby. I support capitalism in all the states, right?
About time freedom, financial freedom. I can work if I want. I don't have to work if I don't want to. Why the fuck would you have to be answering the phone at 11 o'clock at night? Even those horrible 9-to-5 jobs that you guys shit on religiously would not require that. If you worked from 9 to 5, there would be no world where you're having to take a call at 11 p.m. at night. There's a video, I'm actually amazed this is still up. This is a video on Patrick's channel, Valuetainment, called The Real Truth About MLM and Network Marketing, 7 years ago. Let me read you some of these comments here. MLMs are pyramids, period. Pat gaslighting his audience. He ran a sleazy MLM life insurance scheme where 95% of the licensed sales agents make less than a minimum wage worker, making $7.25 an hour. I cannot wait to hear the madness that's gonna ensue from this.
Okay, so a few things about MLM and network marketing that you got to think about.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Now I understand why he wears suits. Oh God, he looks so weird in this outfit.
That's a bad rep. One, people that join everything, it is extremely annoying. No one likes it. You lose friends. Every other day you want to.
How is he not in jail? America, baby. What do you mean? We don't throw comment in jail. We make him president. I thought MLM is jailable. Fuck no. What do you mean? Amway made sure that that does not happen. No, we this is the United States of America. You go to jail for like being pro-Palestine and doing disruptive activism. You don't go to jail for fucking shilling Herbalife, Amway, whatever million different versions of the same multi-level marketing scheme that exists. Yeah. The only MLMs that go to jail are the Marxist-Leninist Maoists, okay?
Sell a new product. It's too much. It's like becoming you're prostituting products. You're becoming promiscuous with everybody.
Why does he always make the analogy sexual? This is crazy. This is from 7 years ago. And literally the clip we watched of him with Eric Worre from 4 months ago, he's saying the same thing. That's crazy.
And erections may last for the rest of your life. The world's gonna want to see your erections. I want an erection that lasts a lifetime. Why are people buying Viagra so much? Hey, the moment you put your uniform, everyone wants to have sex with you. And it's actually somewhat true. You have sex toys, sex toys, sex toys, sex toys. The sex toys, and there's...
Yeah, the other reason, like scammers don't ever go to jail unless they do the one thing, scamming rich people. In the United States of America, you do not get scrutiny for scamming. You only get scrutiny for you don't get scrutiny for stealing from poor people. That's just regular business. You get scrutiny for stealing from rich people. That's called lying to investors. And it is a jailable offense. And many of the same people that do the exact same shit have gone to jail for it. Bernie Madoff, the Theranos woman, Elizabeth Holmes.
Some extracurricular activities. You're prostituting products. You're becoming promiscuous with everybody. You want to sleep with everybody. It's a turnoff. It'll improve your sex life. Are people going to stop having sex and making babies? Oh, look, I got problems. She goes with everybody. She sleeps with everybody. She do. Now, make a list of 3 girls in high school that had the reputation of being you know what? 2 of them are probably wrong. Maybe 1 of them is right. You know that. I know that. That girl's you know what? My wife and I have problems. Watch how many people are gonna search right now, sex toys, MLM. Out of 100 people in network marketing, you know how many people make it? Is it 50? Is it 40, 30, 20? How many is it?
Less than 1.
1 make it. 1 in 100. A lot of people will watch and they're gonna say, oh my gosh, why would I ever do it if it's only 1 in 100? Here's the truth. In real estate, the famous Tom Ferry, who's the big real estate guy that trains everybody and people pay tens of thousands of dollars to go learn from Tom Ferry. He says it himself. In real estate, 87% of real estate agents fail within 5 years. Think about that. They put 5 years of their life in real estate and it fails. How much money do you think they lost in that 5 years? How about we go knock real estate?
First false equivalence here is comparing an 87% failure rate over the course of 5 years to a 99% failure rate every single year. Already some leap in logic. Already it's a bit of a stretch. With these insurance-based MLMs, they will tell the government, they will tell regulators, and they will tell the...
Wait, the whole purpose behind like real estate being like a real job versus multi-level marketing schemes being a scheme is not the failure rate. Like I think it's just false advertising. Real estate is not a real job. I mean, you're selling, you're doing sales shit, okay? There's a couple different very important reasons here. Very important differences here. One, there is a product. You are selling a product. You're selling a commodity. In multi-level marketing schemes, the major revenue source is not the commodity that you're supposedly selling, but instead the fact that you must sell so that other people can sell that commodity to other people underneath you. For multi-level marketing, you're basically you're not really selling anything. You're not really selling a real product. You're trying to dupe people. It's false marketing. I think that's part of the problem. The counter knife block video we watched earlier featured the MLM Cutco knife, so we are full circle today. Yes.
The people that they are recruiting as well, that their business uses an insurance agency model. This is simply not true. You will not only hear comparisons made between insurance MLMs and regular insurance companies, you will hear them compare themselves to doctors' offices, real estate brokerages, law practices, etc., etc., etc. And what is their basis?
I mean, both real estate and MLMs are scams. One commodity shelter, while the other commodity's personality. Okay, but there's a difference between actual shelter, which is a necessary resource. Like, sure, that job could not exist in a perfect society where like shelter is given, or maybe it could exist in the private market on top of the even if the government offered housing to everyone unconditionally. But the other one is not selling anything. The major goal of a MLM is not to make sure that everyone, like Cutco, for example, is not to make sure that everyone buys knives. It's so that other people also sell knives. That's it. MLM's issue is the burden of revenue from labor is leveraged against the customer laborers who are also doing the same, and only the top of the pyramid is not exploited because there's no leverage against them. Yes. MLM is a rebanded pyramid scheme, which is highly illegal. No, pyramid schemes are... I don't even think the pyramid schemes are illegal on paper, are they? I mean, they're obviously... No, they're not. There are so many incredibly... I don't want to say successful, but like there are so many massive revenue generating pyramid schemes in the United States of America. I think you're confusing that with a Ponzi scheme.
For making these comparisons? Well, they will say, if you're a lawyer, maybe you've been a lawyer for many years and now you want to start your own practice and have lawyers that work under you. This is just like what we do. No, it is not like what they do. In all of those examples, you are not required to purchase the thing you are selling in order to be a part of it. That's the first one. In multi-level marketing, you have to purchase something, some mandatory fee that you must pay.
It's so weird to explain this, but like scams are not necessarily illegal, if that makes sense. MLMs, pyramid schemes, are scams, but they're not illegal. Unless there's no product whatsoever, unless you can like target the MLM on a different angle, like they lied about the product or whatever. But you're saying pyramid schemes are illegal under federal and state law, but it doesn't matter because they have different terms for it, like network marketing, as they're utilizing here. Okay? It doesn't matter. They still exist. Pyramid schemes are illegal under state and federal law if the plan's way of making money is based on not selling a product or service, but on recruiting new members into the plan in order to get paid. It's an illegal pyramid. Okay. I'm going to repeat this one more time. It doesn't matter what the law says. They will hide it under regular capitalism. The normal exploitative constructs of capitalism is how these MLMs can absolutely masquerade as valid businesses when still being scams. It's about how much money you have, for example. It's about how much money you have and how good your lawyers are. If the lawman comes knocking down your door and you got a good-ass lawyer, well, then it's not illegal. So car insurance is a scam, Lamau? I mean, car insurances aren't pyramid schemes because if they fail, there's an insurance for the insurance. Wait, what? I mean, you're describing other aspects of other scummy aspects of capitalism, but no, car insurance, while a scam, would not even fall under the MLM guidelines because car insurance isn't about getting other fucking people to sell car insurance. You can have an MLM structure for everything. The insurance industry is a scam as well in a different way because their entire purpose is to ensure that they do not pay the maximum amount that they need to. Hasanabi doesn't understand car insurance. Wait, what? No, it's just insurance. What do you mean? I do understand it. Let's watch this. How to spot a pyramid scheme.
In 2004, a new company called Vima Nutrition started offering a life-changing opportunity to earn full-time income for part-time work. Vima's offer was open to everybody, regardless of prior experience or education. There were only 2 steps to get started earning. Purchase a $500 to $600 kit of their liquid nutrition products and recruit 2 more members to do the same. Vima Nutrition Company grew quickly, becoming a global operation that brought in 30,000 new members per month at its peak. There was just one problem. While the company generated $200 million of annual revenue by 2013, the vast majority of participants earned less than they paid in.
It's false advertising. Like you're basically locking people in and making them pay an upfront cost to join so they can lock other people in and make money down the line, which they never end up making. That's the problem. Regular sales doesn't work that way, okay? If the major revenue is coming from people fronting upfront capital to be able to join and sell the product to other people, then it's a multi-level marketing scheme. There's no circumstance where you like join, let's say, a car dealership, right? They hire you, they look at your background, and then they hire you. You're paying for a car so that you can like pay for other people, so that you can get other people to buy the car that you paid for, so that then they can also buy the car specifically so they can pay, sell it to other people. Doesn't work that way. Reported? Wait, why? Dude, there's always some motherfucker in here saying some crazy shit. You know what I mean? I never understand.
Vima was eventually charged with operating a pyramid scheme, a common type of fraud where members make money by recruiting more people to...
Quiet, commie. It's time to get rich now. Yeah, this commie at the top of the hour is going to serve you a 3-minute ad break. Okay? And for the $5 a month subscription, you can avoid seeing the ads. Okay? That's the selling point for you. Now, to differentiate that from a multi-level marketing scheme is if I were to tell you, oh, if you pay $5, then you have access to be able to sell other people a $5 a month subscription with the hopes of and taking a percentage off of their own sales. If that's how it worked, if gift subs gave you that, like Tate University, Hustlers University did, okay, affiliate marketing, which is another word for it, then that would be a pyramid scheme. Here's the 3-minute ad break now, by the way.
buy in. Typically, the founder solicits an initial group of people to buy in and promote the scheme. They are then encouraged to recruit others and promised part of the money those people invest, while the founder also takes a share. The pattern repeats for each group of new participants, with money from recent arrivals funneled to those who recruited them. This differs from a Ponzi scheme, where the founders recruit new members and secretly use their fees to pay existing members, who think the payments come from a legitimate investment. As a pyramid scheme grows, it becomes increasingly difficult for new recruits to make money. That's because the number of participants expands exponentially. Take a structure where each person has to recruit 6 people to earn a profit. The founder recruits 6 people to start, and each of them recruits 6 more. There are 36 people in that second round of recruits, who then each recruit 6 people, a total of 216 new recruits. By the 12th round of recruiting, the 2.1 billion newest members would have to recruit over 13 billion more people total to make money, more than the entire world population. In this scenario, the most recent recruits, over 80% of the scheme's participants, lose all the money they paid in. And in real life, many earlier joiners lose out too. Pyramid schemes are illegal in most countries, but they can be difficult to detect. They're presented as...
Not in the United States of America, technically. Here, this is a... In the matter of Amway Corporation is a 1979 ruling by the United States Federal Trade Commission concerning the business practice of Amway, a multi-level marketing company. The FTC ruled that Amway was not an illegal pyramid scheme according strictly to the statutory definition of a pyramid scheme, but ordered Amway to cease price fixing and cease misrepresenting to its distributors, participants, the average participant's likelihood of financial security and material success. That's it. It's not about the product at all. It has nothing to do with the product. That has nothing to do with the revenue generated by the company. The revenue generated by the company entirely relies on new people joining the company and fronting upfront capital. Okay? That's the point. That's how it works. That's the major difference between a regular company and a multi-level marketing scheme. The FTC filed a complaint on March 25th, 1975, alleging 5 counts of violating Section 5 of the FTC Act. Count 1 alleged that Amway engaged in resale price maintenance. Count 2 alleged that Amway allocated customers among distributors and restricted the distributor's source of supply as well as the retail outlets, though which they may resell. Count 3 alleged that Amway restricted the distributor's advertising. Count 4 alleged that Amway misrepresented the substantial income may be obtained from geometrical increases in the number of distributors in the chain recruiting operations of the Amway distribution plan, which is like fundamental to selling a multi-level marketing scheme. Count 5 alleged that Amway misrepresented the profitability of distributorship and the potential for recruiting new distributors and failed to disclose the substantial business expense involved and the high turnover of distributors. And the more things get worse under capitalism, like economic situations become more dire, the worse this will get. That's why you saw the NFTs and the crypto schemes that are still ongoing to a certain degree. In a lot of circumstances, especially in the United States of America, you can basically do a lot of things that would otherwise be considered illegal in other countries. For example, you can engage in tax avoidance by utilizing the regular tax loopholes that exist in this country. But if you directly take the money and don't report it to the government and put it under a pillow cushion, then you're doing tax fraud. You're not actually paying your taxes. Okay? That's illegal. Dinesh D'Souza comes to mind, for example. You can go into a 501c4 and basically dump a shit ton of money into it. That's a super PAC, right? As much as you want. Unlimited amount of money that you can give to a super PAC that specifically works with your candidate of choosing. However, if you were to directly try to fund the candidate and go above the legal limit, then you're engaging in campaign financing fraud. Dinesh D'Souza did that, by the way. Well, he did straw donations, which was instead of setting up a 501c4, instead of setting up a super PAC for his favorite official that can claim that they just work on a single issue and lobby for a single issue and not a specific politician, right? What he did instead was straw donations. He took money and he gave it to all of his friends to donate to this individual campaign. That's illegal. You will go to jail for that. So that's something to always consider. A lot of things are, you can do a lot of things that normally people understand as corrupt in a perfectly legal way. Just like price fixing is illegal. But in an oligopoly, you can do price leadership, and every oligopoly does price leadership. Every sector that has only a few mega corporations that own the entirety of the sector will engage in a practice known as price leadership, which is perfectly legal and perfectly valid. As long as you're not in a cigar-filled dark room and getting together and going, hey, we got to fix these prices, we got to change these prices together, as long as you're not doing it like that, and it's a more monkey see, monkey do type situation, then it's perfectly valid, perfectly legal, perfectly allowed. That's how it works.
Many different things, including gifting groups, investment clubs, and multi-level marketing businesses. The distinction between pyramid schemes and legitimate multi-level marketing can be particularly hazy. In theory, the difference is that the members of the multi-level marketing companies primarily earn compensation from selling a particular product or a service to retail customers, while pyramid
Very offline friend just texted me this photo and said, what is this? No idea how he came across it. New York Post, on the side of labor, Champagne socialist journalist, cross-picket to Popov and Pixar sodas. Iger, you don't say no to a role like Diet Do. That's so awesome. That's like an old ass meme at this point. That's so funny. Anyway, let's continue. Let me finish this video and then get back
primarily
to the Patrick
compensate members for recruitment of new sellers. In practice, though, many multi-level marketing companies make it all but impossible for members to profit purely through sales. And many pyramid schemes, like Vima Nutrition, disguise themselves as legal multi-level marketing businesses, using a product or service to hide the pay and recruit structure. Many pyramid schemes also capitalize on already existing trust within churches, immigrant communities, or other tightly knit groups. The first few members are encouraged to report a good experience before they actually start making a profit. Others in their network follow their example, and the schemes balloon in size before it becomes clear that most members aren't actually profiting. Often, the victims are embarrassed into silence. Pyramid schemes entice people with the promise of opportunity and empowerment, so when members don't end up making money, they can blame themselves rather than the scheme, thinking they weren't tenacious enough to earn the returns promised. Some victims keep trying, investing in multiple schemes and losing money each time. In spite of all these factors, there are ways to spot a pyramid scheme. Time pressure is one red flag. Be wary of directives to act now or miss a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Promises of large, life-altering amounts of income are also suspect. And finally, a legitimate multi-level marketing business shouldn't require members to pay for the opportunity to
That's it. That is the single most important part of a pyramid scheme.
sell a product or service. Pyramid schemes can be incredibly destructive to individuals, communities, and even entire countries. But you can fight fire with fire by sending this video to 3 people you know and encouraging them to do the same. While we're at it, here are a couple other things we can help you keep an eye out for.
All right. Now that we got a quick refresher on what pyramid schemes are, let's look at Gaslight Bet David.
In exchange for being part of said company, or if it's like a physical product MLM, you have
Most insurance companies are like this. I think life insurance is the closest to this, affiliate marketing. However, I don't think you need to buy life insurance to be able to do life insurance sales and with the hopes of like getting other people that are now in your life insurance program to like sell it to other life insurance, to sell it to other people who are now going to buy it specifically so they can sell it.
having to pay for a starter kit, which is really just the means of disguising what is actually the cost of your recruitment, you paying to join the scheme. If you really wanted to make the analogy a one-to-one analogy, then these realtors would be having to not only pay for a house themselves to become a realtor, they would have had to keep paying each month for other shit relating to the house, like bills, and then they would have had to recruit other realtors who also bought a house, and that was where they got their commission from, and they would have never sold to anyone who genuinely wanted a house ever. If you're a realtor, the biggest asset that you have is the geography, the territory that you are selling houses in. If there's 1 million realtors in your city of 10 million people, that's gonna be hard for you. It behooves you to have as few realtors as possible and to control as much territory as possible. If you are recruiting more realtors, you are recruiting your own competition who is then going to steal potential sales away from you. The idea of an experienced realtor or insurance agent sharing a listing with someone who is still learning the ropes, this is commonplace. That one level of commission being shared is as far as it will go. You will never in your life see a legitimate real estate brokerage or a legitimate insurance brokerage with multiple layers. Again, multi-level marketing. The words
You have to pay for your training? Yeah, in most circumstances, that is usually a separate company, though, that you're paying into. You need to get your, like for example, if you want to be an analyst, you got to get, like, you got to go through, like, a round of different series of tests, right? Like, you got to get a Series 66 or whatever. But that's a separate licensing body that you need to be tested by. And once again, your job as an analyst is not to sell the concept of becoming an analyst to other people and then take a fucking percentage off of the revenue that they generate when they buy into the concept of being an analyst. That's the difference. I don't know why it's so... I genuinely don't understand. Maybe it's because like regular capitalism is so like exploitative to begin with that chat is like not understanding what the major difference here is. Like, it's about what you're selling, chat. Okay? It's about what you're selling. He basically described it perfectly, by the way. The difference between like a realtor not being a multi-level marketing scheme versus a multi-level marketing scheme.
multi-level, in the phrase multi-level marketing, is also a disguise because it's not multi-level, it's infinite level.
Insurance companies offer no base pay. It doesn't matter, dog. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. There is a difference between a multi-level marketing scheme and like a normal insurance company that doesn't pay base pay for your sales level, okay? Or for your sales job. You're literally confusing normal sales in an extra exploitative circumstance with a scam. Some sales jobs don't give you base pay, which is bullshit, okay? But it's not the same as a multi-level marketing scheme, because the insurance that you're selling for the insurance company is still, there's still a pool of funds, right? You're selling to real human beings that are interested in insurance, I guess, because you duped them into buying it, let's say. And you're not actually, and then those funds are going into a pool of insurance that is leveraged towards people who definitely need insurance, and leveraged by people who don't need the insurance all that much. That's just how an insurance pool works. You're not selling insurance to people that are now like, oh, okay, now that I have insurance, I'm going to turn around and sell it to other people as well. Like, it's not, one is just sales, a shitty sales job with no base pay. The other is a multi-level marketing scheme.
And this is what's so frustrating to me when these companies try to say, we're not even multi-level marketing. We're just an insurance company. We just use an insurance agency model. No, they do not. One of the best ways that I've seen MLM apologists try to get off the topic of what it is that they do wrong or what it is that they do that's deceptive is to immediately bring up shortcomings in a different industry and bring up things wrong with a different industry. They might say something like, you know what the real scam is? College. The student debt system is broken and most of these people are never even going to end up getting a job and blah, blah, blah. All valid points. But pointing out why something else has shortcomings does not wash away your own shortcomings. This is just a distraction. Why don't we go knock real estate and blah, blah, blah. And then this can obviously segue into a conversation about how you don't have the right
It easily put this way, MLMs are viral. They just reproduce themselves with no actual output. The product doesn't matter. It could be anything. That's how it's different. Thank you.
mindset and blah, blah, blah.
Next one. It's a ton of work. This is what people in network marketing and MLM are afraid of saying. And if you want to change the reputation of your industry, stop saying that you're going to be a millionaire in 2, 3, 4, 5 years if you only do this, this, that. It's a ton of work in network marketing. It's a ton of work. You're not going to work 40 hours a week. It's a lot of work in network marketing.
This is actually a cult tactic, not a business tactic. Getting control of your time, behavior, information, thought, and emotion. These are the BITE model. Time falls into behavior. What are you doing with your time? This is something that he can then use to bolster his argument that this is why you need to be committing 100% of your time to this, which then lends itself to the idea that you need to cut off people who aren't doing this or who aren't supporting this. And then you become more and more.
I think the greatest analog from like recent history is NFTs. Like the closest you can arrive at multi-level marketing is like an NFT almost, where there is nothing there and you're purchasing it simply because the value is going to go up and you're going to give the bag to someone else. Another sucker down the line is going to be the one holding the bag. That's it. NFTs are closer to pyramid schemes than MLMs, to be fair.
Isolated, you've spent more and more money, more and more time. This thing has become your entire identity. By the time they start saying more and more extreme shit, it just appears normal to you because they've brought you along gradually. Nobody is alarmed when they hear somebody say it's going to be a lot of hard work. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of hard work. They told me it's going to be a lot of hard work. Fast forward a few weeks or a few months later, hey, I told you it was going to be hard work, right? You need to give your all to this. Yeah, okay, that is basically the same as a lot of hard work. Hey man, you can't be distracted. There are people that are trying to throw you off your course and you know it's going to be hard work and you got to devote all your time to this, right? So you got to limit the people who are trying to throw you off course from this. It's gradual. But if you had started on day one by being like, look, you need to cut off all the people who aren't supporting you in this, they would have been like, what the fuck? No.
So a lot of people like to say, oh, real estate is a scam. Keller Williams is a scam. You know, New York Life is a scam. Oh, this company's a scam. That company's a scam. That is like you being the insecure guy that a girl left you or you couldn't hack it because it was so hard, but you called it.
If you call it a scam, you're an insecure guy.
But the truth is there are some scams out there. Fortunately, eventually they get caught and they get shut down. The government is not set up in a way to allow scams to last for a long time.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Really. Bernie Madoff, 30 years, biggest Ponzi scheme. OneCoin, Ponzi scheme. FTX, Sam Bankman-Fried was cool with people in politics, was giving money to people in politics. There was an FTX arena, high-profile celebrities in.
The number one thing you can't do is fuck over rich people. That's it. That's it. And multi-level marketing schemes do not target rich people. They target poor people. They target desperate people and tell desperate people that, like, hey, guess what? You'll be able to make some, you'll be able to earn passive income. That's it. That's the whole point. That's why they don't get fucked for the most part.
In advertising, the government is set up to do whatever for whoever is paying them.
A person cannot be a criminal all their lives, not finding a way in prison.
In MLM, unfortunately, you can.
If you are going to do network marketing, here's a timeline. It's 10-year commitment.
LOL.
It's not 6 months or I'm going to give it a shot for 1 year. Nope, not going to work.
Madoff
Do you know
did
why
that
it's
shit
a
for 30 years? Brother, Bernie Madoff literally was the president of, what was it, like Forex or something? He didn't just do that shit for 30 years. He was literally, like, he was the stock market, okay? Sorry, he was the chairman of the NASDAQ stock exchange, not Forex, sorry. Bernie Madoff was the chairman of the NASDAQ stock exchange. Do you understand? Like, I'm telling you, his biggest issue was that he was scamming rich people.
10-year commitment? Because anything you do is a 10-year commitment.
It's a 10-year commitment because once you've given yourself 5 years or 10 years, God forbid, there is this element of the sunk cost fallacy where you've already spent such a large portion of your life doing this that the idea of walking away becomes such an insurmountable task that it almost feels like it might be better to just keep plugging away and hoping that it changes. Like being an addicted gambler. Oh, well, I've already lost.
Yeah, can one of the mods pin this video?
100,000 sitting at this slot machine, but I'll put in another 20 because maybe the next one will hit and I'll make it all back.
2-year-old, go get a job. 5-year-old, go get a job. 10-year-old, you can be an entrepreneur and a business owner.
Entrepreneur and a business owner. Again, this would contradict what he said only a few months ago, which is that you're paying 1099, you don't have to pay W-2, you're not a business owner, you don't own it, you don't set the prices, you don't decide what you sell, etc., etc.
I'm down the street. Every time I go home on this freeway here, I see Mary Kay to my left. You know how many women I've met that talk about Mary Kay in a way that she changed their lives?
You know how many people in the Heaven's Gate cult exit videos talked about how the leader of that cult, whose name was Doe, changed their lives in their exit videos that they filmed right before killing themselves as a group because they believed that they were going to transcend into a galactic plane of existence, going on an alien spaceship, and their soul would leave their body if they just all collectively committed suicide?
Okay, but they undeniably had drip. Like those Nike sneakers that they died in are fire.
He changed their life.
Do you know how many men I've met that when they bring up the name Rich DeVos and Jay Van Andel, I've never been part of Amway. Every time somebody's brought up the name of Rich DeVos and Jay Van Andel, who
Betsy DeVos's pop-up, by the way. Secretary of Education, former Secretary of Education, Betsy DeVos's pop-up.
actually had a chance to work with them directly, you should see what they talk about. People get emotional saying, this man changed my life.
Does that seem normal to you, bro? Having your MLM company disguised as an insurance company is very clever for a multitude of reasons. Firstly, you actually do have to get a license from the government to sell insurance. When these people say, you have to get a license to be with us, we're highly regulated by the government, know this, insurance as an industry is regulated. That does not mean that the specific base shop office of a World Financial Group or a PHP or a, can't say the name because of reasons, that specific office is not highly regulated. Secondly, when they say we have licenses, so there's no way that we're doing anything illegal, it's like saying there's no way that I was.
It's like Herbalife saying that they're actually regulated by the government because they're selling a product that is regulated by the government. Herbalife, the product that we're selling is like regulated by the FDA. What do you mean? That doesn't mean anything.
Driving drunk, I have a government license to operate this vehicle, and driving is heavily regulated. Do you see how fucking nonsense that is? Here's the next layer of the disguise. When you sign up as a distributor to, let's say, an MLM company that sells protein powder, and you go to one of their base shops that they sort of make it look like an athletic, you know, hangout space. Everybody there is wearing what? T-shirts, shorts, it's sort of going with the brand. But when you're an insurance broker and you're going to the office, which again is a pretend playset Fisher-Price office. If you go into the office of any World Financial Group building, every one of these I've seen, whether it's in person, and yes, I've been inside of them, or on Zoom, you will see an immaculate office which has very little personalization. There's probably not going to be a family photo framed on the desk. There's probably not going to be any sign of like usage no paper in the printer, nothing on the table, nothing that's actually being worked on, a bunch of trophies behind them on the shelf. For all intents and purposes, it looks like an office, but it doesn't look like any work has actually been done there. And spoiler alert, no real office work is being done there. So the next layer of illusion is literally just the physical outward appearance of it. When you go to the office as an insurance broker, you're wearing a suit. Automatically wearing a suit just gives off the impression of legitimacy and business and professionalism more so than if you were wearing a t-shirt. And if you're in an office and you're talking about being an agent, all of these words lend themselves perfectly to making yourself look legitimate. It looks more legitimate and sounds more legitimate than saying I'm a distributor or I'm an independent sales rep. Also, when it comes to the suits, you can just tell that these people are not professionals. I've used this analogy before. These guys that wear suits and talk about their business, but they're actually in an MLM, all of their demeanors and their appearances scream out to me little kid dressing up in his dad's suit while his dad is at work. And it doesn't fit properly. They're wearing a bunch of accessories that are just so over the top that don't actually go with it. Like there's no class, there's no poise, gaudy snakeskin shoes, just because they think in their mind, oh yeah, the more condiments that I put on the sandwich, the better it'll be.
Was this guy live streaming while he was doing this rant? That's crazy.
Right? At least that's how it looks. Another layer of deception is this. One of the common phenomena that exists within MLM companies that you see a lot in documentaries about MLM, like for example, the LuLaRoe documentary on Amazon Prime called Lula Rich. In that documentary, you see women hoarding these leggings and clothes because they kept making purchase orders every month to continue to earn their commission and their rank and maintain. And they ended up becoming garage qualified, which means they filled up their entire garage or rooms in their house with the products, and they were just trying to get rid of it at that point and ran out of money and had to take a loss on all of it. Insurance is not a physical product, so it's less perceptible to you that you're continually paying each month for more products. That's one of the things that insurance MLMs will say, like, oh, with those other ones, you have to buy lotions and potions and it's sitting in the garage and you gotta buy it every month. Just because it's not a physical product doesn't mean that you're not buying it every month. It's just probably less in your face because it's not physically in your face. Another reason why running an insurance MLM is so genius as opposed to another MLM is because if someone signs up for an insurance policy with you and it actually does come to pass where...
Have you ever tried to talk someone out of an MLM? It's painful. Yeah, no, it's a cult. It's basically like cult deprogramming. You have to do cult deprogramming. Sometimes the MLM is a cult, like Nexium, which was a sex cult and also an MLM at the same time. Oh, I fear, like I said, as conditions worsen in the United States of America, this kind of stuff is becoming more and more popular. It's already super popular in comparison to all these other places. So much Mormon adjacent content. I know this is the most Mormon filled day that this is the most we've talked about Mormons without actually discussing Mormons directly. We talked about soda stores, water talk, and now MLMs.
They need to file a claim. Someone close to them dies, but they had the insurance that was sold to them by this MLM distributor. The emotional power of being able to say, yeah, you know what? I haven't made any money yet, but my aunt just passed away and the insurance policy she had with this company paid my family out, and without it, we wouldn't have got any money from it, and we're much better off for it. Playing on the emotion. That is something that most people would have a hard time arguing with, but I want you to look at the big picture. How many times that happens and how much money is being paid out from those policies, which, by the way, is being paid out not by that MLM, but by the companies that they are selling products on behalf of, the actual insurance companies who are issuing the policies. Consider however much money is being paid out compared to the amount of money that is being generated from scamming people. The amount of people who have had their lives positively affected by the insurance policy that was paid out is so inconsequential and so insignificant compared to the amount of people who have been harmed and the amount of money that's been generated that equates to the losses of those people that have been taken advantage of by those MLMs. It's a grain of sand compared to the entire beach. I want to show you the compensation plan for PHP, proof of what I was talking about earlier, the generational overrides. 7 layers deep. You would never see 7 different people getting paid commission on the same sale of a product or service in real estate, medicine, law. Never, never, never. We all know there's this like principle. The degrees of separation between you and any other person on this planet is 5 people, meaning you know someone who knows someone who knows someone who knows someone who knows Oprah. So if it only takes 5 degrees of separation to get to you and anyone else on the planet, you may ask yourself, why the fuck is somebody 7 people away from me getting paid off work that I did? That means that anytime you make a sale, you can rest assured that somebody probably in another part of the world who you never met and who you never will meet is getting paid off work that you did. This is so unsales, it's not even funny. Senior marketing director, executive marketing director. Another layer of deception that they add is the names. A company like Amway, you might be a diamond or a ruby or an amethyst. That doesn't sound as professional or legitimate as what you would have in PHP, where you're a marketing director, or a senior marketing director, or executive marketing director, or an executive vice president. It's literally like kids LARPing. And then of course they have.
It's so funny because apparently the greatest trick for PHP was Patrick Bet-David's MLM was to make it look more professional. Like he very clearly looked at what the most common MLMs are, product distribution, and realized that like the greatest way to do this is by, instead of like offering little tokens, change the aesthetics up to like look like a normal legal corporate structure. And also the thing that you are urging other people to sell, which you're still buying into, is insurance. So there you go.
Have the additional layer, which is the signifiers of wealth and success. These gaudy, horrific college football rings with the engravings. $100,000 earner ring, $50,000.
Wait, Belova? There's no way that's fucking... That's like $1,000 watch, man. What the fuck? And those rings are not $100,000 at all. What the fuck? Let's look at how much Belova watches cost for a second here. Belova watch, founded in 1875. They typically sell for $200 to $725. My man took it one step above Invicta and sold it as though it's like a $50,000 watch. That's disgusting. No, it's how much money generated in sales. Yes, bro, that's my point. You generate $50,000 in sales and you get a $200 watch. $50,000 in sales that you generated and you get a $200 watch?
Watch. I mean, bro, I think I've covered by now every reason why the insurance MLM thing is so clever and so sinister. We're talking about an endless chain recruiting pyramid scheme and cult that is getting people in based on emotional promises of making millions of dollars and having generational wealth and taking care of their sick relatives' hospital bills. And tell me your why. What is your why? Don't you want to retire your dad? Don't you want to pay for your grandma's cancer medication? And on and on and on. They then disguise that by calling it something made up, multi-level marketing. This is a disguise because you're not marketing anything. Marketing implies that you are serving something to a market of people. What are they marketing? The opportunity, the endless chain recruiting promise. Don't you know about Patrick Bet-David? Look at his Instagram. He drives a Lambo, blah, 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 and on and on and on. Social proof nonsense.
Here's number 10. And this is the part that some people are going to like, some people are going to hate. Network marketing actually works.
I agree with that. Network marketing does work. If you are the one on top of it designing it, it works exceptionally well. All you have to do is lie and deceive people in mass. And it is a guarantee that with an MLM model, 99% of the money.
It's the LBJ, who the fuck said if you can convince the poorest white man that he's somehow above the richest black man, that you can rob him blind? It was LBJ, right? Yeah. MLMs kind of work in that same way, except with no racial direction, where it's like, hey, I know it looks like I'm scamming you, but guess what? You can scam other people underneath you. And that's why I think a lot of people go, all right, yeah, that makes sense. You know what I mean? Because it's like, listen, I'm selling this product to you. It comes across a little scammy. It's fine. But here's the trick. you can sell it to a shit ton of other suckers. And there's a lot of suckers out there. Yeah, the full unbastardized quote was, not only can you rob him blind, but he'll empty his pockets for you.
Money that people invest will go right to you.
This guy was awesome. Great video.